Alright boys, just got back from the gas station. It is Saturday. Grabbed a couple of burrs because I'm going to be doing a lot of work around the house. As you know, it's literally after Christmas. Hold on, let's make sure we look good. As you know, it's after Christmas and I have some lights outside. Actually, let's go show you. Got Skelly out here, but as you can see, got some lights outside. I am going to be taking these down, as well as just kind of chilling outside as it is a beautiful day. And yeah, I figured why not kind of make a video outside, just showing you guys me doing stuff, whatnot. And also though, really the video today is about what does smoking mean to me, especially in the big 2025 going into 2026. I mean, I've literally been smoking for like, I don't even know at this point, 13 years, and obviously it's changed over the years, and I kind of just want to talk about where I am even now with smoking compared to starting back in the very beginning, right? But of course, you know, we have a sponsor for today's video. Shout out to JK Distro. I'm actually going to be using their pens as I'm just going to be going around using a ladder or whatnot. But yeah, shout out to them for sponsoring the video. And yeah, these new pens they're not new, but I've been using them because they're not lying about the liquid diamonds and stuff and it being full THCA, which I really appreciate, as a lot of companies do lie about this. So it's a very big problem. I forget what this is. It's like berry something, but let's take a rip before we start yapping. Cheers. Also, we got to go get the light boxes that these gotta go back in, and you're gonna see how much of a mess my garage is, but hey, I just try to be as open with you guys as I possibly can be. Oh wait, we actually got to put our beers away. This is gonna probably feel like a weird video because I'm literally just gonna be doing stuff while incorporating talking to you guys. I hope it doesn't feel like weird or rushed, or I don't know the word for it, but it's gonna be a little different. Actually, before we go, let's do a little dual rip. Let's take a sip of the twisted tea as well as a rip from the pen. Yeah, before we start this yap fest. Cheers. It's Saturday. Do I deserve this? Probably not, but are we gonna do it anyway? Fuck yeah. Okay, I know it looks very hectic and chaotic right now, but this is the boxes of lights. I have other boxes as well. But before we get into that, we should obviously get into the beginning of what smoking even meant to me. If you guys don't know, I just turned 29 like a month ago. I started smoking at 16. Didn't really start smoking until 17. So about 16, 17, I would say that I started just the same reason as a lot of people do. Your social group, your friend group, whatever the case is. I personally had just moved, so I lived in a really small town in Ohio for like 7 years because I moved around a lot. That town, that's where I first tried what I thought was weed, but it was K2. But then later also tried some weed there. But honestly, the stoner culture there was very, very low compared to where I had moved after that. And it was a little bit of a bigger town, but anyway, so I had moved, got a job. I was like 17, just went through like my first heartbreak. So like, I was like, fuck it, bro. I'm just going to be a bad kid, or not a bad kid, but like I did start doing more dumb shit. And I wouldn't say that like, oh, it's because of smoking, because it wasn't. It was definitely my mentality. But if anything, I chilled out more from smoking. But obviously I started because it seemed fun, right? Like, I'm just being completely honest. It seemed fun. My friends were doing it. And at that age, you know, like, you're even being told, you know, when I was young, like, oh, you know what I'm saying? All right, let's go back inside. But even though, like, I don't know how to explain it. Even my parents, even though they hated that I smoked, whatnot, they still were like, well, it's still, like, better than alcohol. It's better than blah, 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 blah. So you're already in your brain thinking, well, this isn't as bad as, you know, there's not as many health risks or whatever, which is obviously not the case and something you do understand when you look into weed more and just, you know, start to get a little bit more knowledgeable. And throughout the years, obviously putting any kind of smoke into your lungs is not good. People can go through psychosis. They can go through, you know, bad stuff from smoking. So to say that there's no risk or health problems obviously is just a lie. And is it lower than a lot of these other things? Of course. But like, to say there's none, and that's kind of what I thought, right? I thought I was like, oh, bro, who cares? It comes from the ground, blah, 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 blah. But like, bro, there's pesticides. There's so much stuff that can contribute, making it bad and harmful for you. So obviously there's that. And I probably had that kind of mentality till about 21. Gotta kick the ball real quick. Hold on. Anyway, so at 21, right, I had actually taken like a little break. I was definitely doing dumb shit in life, getting in trouble, and so I took like a year and a half break, and that was cool and whatnot, but definitely during that time I still missed smoking quite a bit. That's when I literally was like kind of drinking and started to drink a little bit more, but I just thought, oh man, maybe if I quit this, like, I don't know, I'll have more money or I'll have whatever, blah, 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 blah. But it wasn't until I realized, like, oh, like, that's not the case. I'm just not making enough money. And, you know, obviously I couldn't just like get an amazing job right away. I obviously, where I live, there's not a lot of opportunities to begin with. So about 23, I was like, fuck it, dude. I had tried to apply to this job, and they denied me, like went through the whole process, thought I was going to get it, and I literally had stopped smoking, especially for that and whatnot. I didn't get the job, so obviously, you know, boom, I'm depressed, instantly start smoking again. And this is now when like pens are big, and you know, all these black market pens are out there, and I live in a... Sorry, there's a rooster over there. But I live in a like small apartment, so I'm freaking out about smoking. So I'm only hitting pens, right? 23, I'm just like, fuck it at this point. Like, I'm never going to quit again. And I'm loving these pens, right? So that's all going good. And then I'm working a job, but then I'm still like kind of miserable and like getting back to that, like, okay, well, is smoking ruining my life? Or I'm like, am I doing something or whatnot? And then I would say like 24, I want to say, or 24 or 25. Yeah, is when I made the channel. And the reason that I even made the channel is because COVID happened and we were allowed to get the stimmy checks. And I had just saved up enough money, bought a PC. I first started streaming, but I streamed for like a year before I even decided to make this kind of content. But it was always in the back of my mind because honestly, even when I was like 16, 17, getting caught by my parents, I'm looking at them in the face and I'm like, dude, this is what I'm going to do for like a living. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to figure out a way to make weed my job. And honestly, my mom reminded me of that the other day. She was like, dude, I remember you saying that at 16, 17, and here you are now, made it your job. Obviously, though, I wasn't thinking about it in the YouTube way. I was thinking about it more in the trapping, growing way. Just because I was like, I don't know, like, I couldn't be a YouTuber. I don't know. I still don't even think I really can be. But so anyway, boom. Now I look at weed like, I'm looking at it like it's everything. Like, I've literally, it's a whole new relationship now, because not only do I love it so much, not only am I constantly learning about it, especially with like when the hemp stuff came out. And I mean, you know, to be honest, I don't know everything to begin with. So like, I was already learning new stuff all the time and consuming it. And I mean, obviously I've been consuming this kind of content for also 13 years. Like, I moved a lot, and then moving in my like teenage ages, you know, made me even want to more watch that content, because, oh, hold on, it's dark, because I was alone. I didn't have any homies yet because I just moved. So finding a new homie or finding something online to watch was a lot better. So honestly, about 24, 25, I'm now like locking in the fact that I want to make this my career. Everything rides on weed. So I have this new relationship with it of being like, I don't know, it's everything to me at this point, right? And obviously, with trying so much and doing so much and making so much content, I think I didn't really stop to, you know, sometimes sit down and be like, okay, am I still enjoying this, right? Like, am I still enjoying being baked every day, or am I just doing this now because I really want this? And I would say that's about like 26, 27 when I started. I was more on the cusp of this about to be my job, but I was still working a regular job full time. And I want to say that, like, definitely a part of me was like, okay, I don't know if this is going anywhere. Like, I'm still struggling. I'm still putting in all this time. And I definitely started to look down a little bit more on weed, and just in the sense of my life of being like, oh, well, this is actually, I don't know, it's a lot. I'm tying a lot to something that I just enjoyed doing. So I thought about it for a while, and really, I just like kind of lowered my consuming, because definitely way before, even years before, I would consume a lot more. When I was younger, I would consume so much. and I decided to stop consuming as much. Obviously starting to do other things, like I was just making weed my only thing, really. Like, of course, I was still watching TV, playing video games, but you need other hobbies and need other activities. So I started adding other activities like playing piano, doing things like that, and even making another channel that I've never even told you guys about because I just want to grow it on my own. But, you know, even being able to do other content can really make me appreciate making this content again, which also kind of in turn made me appreciate just smoking in general. I know that might sound crazy and weird. Just had to change the battery because my dumbass can never have a charged battery. But also I think a really big thing as well that I just left out that I kind of forgot about, even though it's like the biggest part, and that is my relationship with it changed a lot as well when like DHHC came out, and I started doing a lot of content on that before the THCA flower stuff, because as you guys know, you can look through my channel. Yeah, I try devices, I try other products sometimes, but mostly it's just THCA flower, and you know, that's just all I've ever wanted to do, right? Like, I don't hate edibles, I don't hate pens, but I don't always like them, and especially when it comes to D8 and stuff like that, like, I definitely don't care about that. Even when I was reviewing that stuff, like, I would even be pretty upfront about being like, yeah, this is cool if you are into this, right? So definitely it was a little on edge or a little rocky. And then as the channel got bigger and as THCA flower got like more legal and better companies were coming out, I think it changed the game, and it made me like really fall back in love with smoking again. Sorry, I'm burping like crazy. I don't know why. So I want to say, like, in the last couple years, since this has actually been my job. Hold on, let's actually take a rip before we get close to ending out the video. I'm sorry about that, Rooster. Cheers. Got the girls out here. But pretty much within the last couple years, like, I've definitely been rejuvenated in my love for smoking. Obviously, with this being my job, I think it changes it a little bit, because once again, I'm back to that, like, if I stopped doing this, or if this stopped being my job, would I still continue to do it, smoke as much, things like that? I think that I still would, but honestly, at that point, I would have to probably lock in and figure out something, right? But for the most part, it's changed a lot, and I would say, like, through my mid-20s, I was like going on like little, I don't know, like little slopes, or little, sometimes I would hate it, sometimes I'd love it, and then when I really started making the channel at first, I don't know, I was really nervous about it. I would definitely say, like, me overall personally, I still enjoy smoking very much. Now, is it as awesome as it used to be, like at 16, 17, 18? No. And that's just because that's more of like you had a different kind of freedom, whereas now smoking is like, well, you got to pay for it, so and like generally you're gonna be at your crib safe, not worrying about no parent or some cop or something showing up usually, right? So honestly, it's a lot more comfortable now than it used to be, which takes a little bit of the fun out of it. But yeah, I mean, beyond that, I still just love getting super baked, man, and I love doing this as a job. I love learning stuff about weed all the time, so my relationship from it has definitely veered, and I have taken breaks, but for the most part, I've still just been smoking like for 11 years. 2 years of those I took off, or like a year and a half. But yeah, you guys let me know the relationship you have been through with your years as well. And yeah, I just want to make this weird little kind of video. I don't know, you guys let me know. If you enjoy the end bump, you can send your own to chillydillyendbumps@gmail.com. Much love. I'm gonna get all these lights off. Peace.
Break the pattern today, or the loop will repeat tomorrow. Break the pattern today, or the loop will repeat tomorrow. You must break the pattern today, or the loop will